Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, a member of the Pod Bros Network. Visit us at bigjujitsu.com if you want to buy something. You know you do. Click the Amazon banner at the top of the page and help us out by keeping the podcast running by buying something through Amazon. You won't pay anything extra, but hey, we get to see some of it. I'm Rob the Lord Humongous.
And I'm Sean the Duke Humongous.
And today we have our returning guest. Been excited to have this guy back on the show. We have Devon Martinez.
What's going on, guys? Rob, that big dick humongous comment kind of threw me off right now.
Did you say the big dick humongous?
Is that what you just said?
No, I said I'm Rob the Lord
and I'm Sean the Duke. Duke,
oh,
not Dick.
Duke. I was like,
but I'm Irish, so that Dick humongous cannot be true.
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Oh, we just had the best intro in podcast history, at least on our podcast. Devon, raising the bar for us.
Seriously, man.
Man!
Already, we have high hopes for this podcast, just because we're both the big dick humongous. I don't even know, like the big dick humongous and the Duke dick humongous. I don't know what we can call ourselves, but whatever. Pretty awesome. So hey, man, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh man, thanks for having me. Really, this is already starting off great. This kind of woke me up. Went with my coffee. This is cool.
Nice. So how have things been going? I know last time we talked, you've been doing a lot of work with your group Regime, getting some of the local artists out there, working your social media. How's that going for you?
It's going good. The social media part's been actually easy. A lot of stuff is just kind of snowballed into something that I didn't expect it to be really quick. And it's not like I have this huge following, but I mean, I've grown exponentially compared to where I was last time I talked to you guys. It's more networking and work right now than anything, where I'm in that gray area where I'm making money, but I'm not making that much money from it. And I'm helping a lot of people out, but it's definitely still growing. It's more than local now, which is cool, but it's getting there, that gray area where anything you start it kind of gets to,
Yeah, I personally like a lot of the music stuff that you've been posting. I enjoy that on Instagram when you got a mix or whatever the kids call it nowadays. I enjoy that.
No, thanks, man. I'm trying to get myself used to doing all that. For a little while, I was trying to just put effort into one little area like that, not entirely, but trying to balance it out. And now I'm just kind of not really putting myself in the box. I'm just saying, you know what, if I got something that I want to make and it comes out and I could put it with a video of me training or let someone else use it for their vlog or whatever, I'm just kind of letting it all just spew out. There's really no blueprint right now for anything that I'm putting out there. Mainly for the business side, yes, but for that, I appreciate that because a lot of it's just kind of on the fly where I'm this sounds cool. Let me make it.
So with your training blogs, because I watch them too, there's some of the more enjoyable things for me just to watch because it's I'm all about simplicity, and there's not a lot of commentary. There's not a lot of just random shit. It's we're going here to train. We're going to talk to people about music. We're going to have some soundtrack over it. So do you find that easier to put out to people, or is that something that you just kind of stumbled upon, or you just I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying where'd you get that idea from, just keeping it simplistic and using that as your format?
So what happened for a little while was my brother and I just started looking at different ways that we could kind of get ourselves out there on the internet. Not because we want to be famous or nothing like that, but we just kind of saw the how strong the tool is of just being able to throw something out into like shit in the ocean. You know what I mean? How far can you get that stuff to spread? So we watched loads and loads of YouTube vlogs of all these famous people. I'm not going to throw their names out there because I don't want to give free plugs.
That's right.
But there's these people that do the same things. Their vlogs will be about this, they'll be about that, but they're all doing the same blueprint. And we're man, we could do something like this if we really put some effort into it. But we don't want to be like them. So I already had this kind of idea where when I want to start making stuff, I don't want to use high production, high quality crap at first, where I can go get Adobe Premiere and the newest version of iMovie or whatever program and software you want to throw out there. I can go get all this crap and make some like high quality thing, but I'd rather it be more like, I don't know, more identifiable with where I come from California, like the Central Valley, and like my personality, where it's more minimalistic, which I think that's just more relatable. Like if you go watch like a TV show or a video blog or just anything where it involves some kind of person that's super high quality and it looks like it's made from the industry in like Hollywood or whatever, you can't identify with it as much. Where I feel like mine is like, if I make my music, if I make do my own effects with the visuals, if I do my own like simple cutting and make it just as like straightforward as I can, but it still has its own identity because it's all like produced by me, I feel like people could identify with it more because I don't put myself on a particular like platform. Like I feel like, hey, watch me, but watch me because I'm like the same as you. And I think that feel of those videos and anything I put out kind of like pushes that point across.
No, I think that was something we talked about earlier, was because we kind of tried to do the same thing as far as, you know, you keeping it for people who can identify it. We try to keep it with people who can identify it. And it's just a different medium, which I find something to be very interesting and fascinating. And you've had huge success with it.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, I get that the same thing from you guys too, because when you guys do interviews with people, it's...
I think I lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I lost him.
Sorry guys, I don't know what happened. There's
no worries.
Too much weight from the big dick on there kind of dropped me.
Yeah,
it's fun.
my weighty voice and penis.
There is too much dick on this podcast right now. Had to drop one of the members.
No, I hear you.
No.
Well, I'll edit that part out real quick, like the big space. But so what were you saying about that was something you heard about our interviews or something like that?
So yeah, like when we think of the people that do interviews right now, not necessarily just in the jiu-jitsu community, but just in general, the people that are in the same school of fish that you guys are, who are just building the podcast up and getting to that area where they're reaching thousands of people, they bullshit a lot around in their interviews, and they try and sound like they're like some late night host or I don't know, they're mimicking what they see on TV and whatnot. And you guys are just here sitting having conversations with people, being yourselves, and that's cool. And I think that's what makes your guys' interviews so much better than others, because you guys don't like pussyfoot around stuff and try to like act like your guests are like on some like superior level or nothing like that. You're literally just having normal conversations with the people that come on, and that's more interesting, and it makes it the viewers be able to interact with like everything that's going on, you know, in comparison to something else. I'm not going to throw any other names of podcasts out there.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. But no, that was something that Sean and I had talked about a lot, and Sean was actually kind of more the driving force behind that. Was that, you know, I'm going to admit I almost fanboyed a little bit on that Kurt Osiander interview, because like he's the guy I've been watching on the videos the longest. But like after the first 30 minutes of him, like not even on the podcast, just talking, I was like, oh dude, he's just a guy like us. He just has done it longer, has made waves, and like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So like it's going to be a good podcast if we just keep it that way.
Yeah, and I get that too. Like sometimes there's certain people you see where it's hard to not want to ask them a million questions like personally in depth. You know what I mean? I get that too, but it's cool because you guys are consistent with it. You know what I mean? I listen to other people's podcasts, and I'm really just listening to them because like I'm like, oh, that person's cool. Like that person they have on the show is cool, and not that you guys don't have cool people on the show. You guys do. But it's the way that you guys are interacting with them. And we're like, okay, this is going to be funny, because if I go listen to something else, like you guys might have a blueprint and notes sometimes. Maybe you don't, I don't know. But other people's, you could tell it's more scripted in the sense that where they have bullet points, they don't want to get lost. Where I feel like I can come in here and, you know, you might have some random dude on here who makes like, I don't know, some kind of dick reference at the beginning of the podcast or something like that. You know? Like, so I enjoy it. It's real natural, guys.
Look, we are that highbrow humor. We do not talk about dicks or shitting our pants on this podcast.
Yeah. And I have a new nickname. That's like the best nickname anybody's ever given me. So now the goal is like for Sean, do you think that they'll allow that nickname on like any of the entry registration forms, like Sean the big dick humongous Kyle, you know, like how they announce it at SJJIF Worlds? Yeah, well, I'm gonna also go into work and be like, hey guys, I got this new nickname from a guy on the podcast that nobody at the work cares about podcasts, but
you should
like,
just
hey
say
guys,
like
big dick humongous now. Just yell it over the cubicle.
You should just say like, you shouldn't say who gave it to you. You should just leave the door open and make them think it was some like random girl or something like that. Like, oh yeah, like I got this nickname. Like, well, who gave it to you? Oh, don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not your fucking business. They're satisfied.
That's
Like that's all you gotta tell them. Fuck.
Man.
Yeah, the Jiu-Jitsu podcast that talks about dicks. All right, anyway. So
So,
speaking
hey, let me ask you a question, man.
yeah.
yeah.
Go.
So Devon, what do you think is like been the big news for you, or the big, since we haven't talked to you in like a year? What has changed in jiu-jitsu that you've seen, or what are like the pertinent issues going on right now? I mean, I know Rob talked a little bit about the Metamora stuff. I mean, there's the IBJJF, there's leg locks. For you, what's new in jiu-jitsu that's got your attention?
The two things that stand out the most to me, obviously, it's just reactions to things. It's not really anything that jiu-jitsu community that stands out. I mean, that stuff's cool. I like watching the change of tides with the new competitors and everything like that. But what really stands out to me lately is the trend for leg locks in the last 8-9 months, where it really just like went over the top, which is cool. I think any kind of subs are cool, but it's just funny that there's a big focus on leg locks as of lately. And also, the more positive thing that I think is awesome is that people are actually fighting for money now. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily mean that like as in competing wise. I mean like people are like, "Hey, I did this. Give me my fucking money." You know what I mean? In reference,
namely
to the whole
AJ Agrazam, or
exactly.
I don't know how to say his name.
I love that shit. I love that shit.
Dude, that was definitely the like I said, we touched on it, but dude, that is the serious like textbook definition of shit blowing up in your face.
Exactly.
I'm sure Halleck was like, "Hey, this is gonna be great. We're gonna promote it. My business model ain't too strong right now. However, we'll give AJ the Instagram. What could go wrong?" And then fast forward it like the next morning, and shit just fucking goes wrong.
Dude, it's one of those things where it's funny because it just makes that guy look like 10 times worse, because you know how big of a piece of shit you look if you don't want to pay someone money back. Like if you don't give someone $10 back and everyone knows that, they're like, "Oh, like what's this guy's deal?" You know what I mean? But however much money he meant, like thousands of dollars, that just makes you look like an asshole on steroids, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's in a public forum. Like it's not like it's within the gym. Like, you know, hey, fuckface over there borrowed $20 from me to fill up his tank of gas, and everybody in the gym knows. It's this guy isn't paying me because I competed, and there's tens of thousands of people that are following what's going on. So that just gives it even more exposure to how big of an asshole you are.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And it's funny because like I mean, I didn't get in depth on his side of it. I just kind of jumped on the bandwagon of like, "Oh, fuck that guy, he didn't pay him." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like like what was it? Did he even have some kind of statement like or anything? Like what more can you say other than, "Oh, you know, I'm sorry. This is my mistake," you know?
He said something along the lines of like, "Hey, you know, we're not making as much money as I thought," and pretty much everybody kind of jumped on the other bandwagon for was, "Well, what is it? Like some sort of weird Ponzi scheme where you hold this event to pay for the previous event, and then the next event is going to pay for the previous event?" And so it keeps like, you know, you have like, you know, we'll say Metamoris 1 was huge. Everybody got paid. Then 2 didn't do as well. So they're like, "Hey, we're going to pay you after Metamoris 3." And then they're like, "Oh, here's the checks. We're good now," right? So that's what it's kind of looking like, because this hasn't been the first time it's happened. It's been a lot of like, "Hey, where's our money?" And then the Metamoris happens and they get paid.
What I didn't get, like one thing I really liked was watching those like pre-fight videos. They had like 10-minute videos for each fighter. Spend a lot of money like on the production for that. And then you turn on the event and there's like no audience. They're like in a private theater or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, they tried to I think they did real good with the buildup. I mean, Rob and I used to watch those videos like when we had a break at when we worked near each other. And we'd be like, "Oh man, this is cool. We get to learn a little bit about these guys." So they did great on that side. And then, you know, they probably spent too much on the production, you know, didn't have people paying for tickets. Like that's like business 101, right? Like, hey, let's have a fucking audience for this fight, right?
I know, right? Like, let's not sell any tickets to the audience, but you know, let's just hope we do 200,000 in pay-per-views for a jiu-jitsu event. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
Nah. But like the production, like Sean was saying, the videos are amazing.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of on the fence with Keenan, but after watching that Keenan video where he was out on the beach and
He threw his medals into the water, man. That was fucking hilarious.
yeah. And or he's like waving the wand around and he goes over the woman's rear and it goes off. I was like, oh, ha ha ha, because I'm an 8-year-old at heart, so it's funny to me. But yeah, I was like, I'm a Keenan fan. I'm a Keenan fan for life now, so I can't be mad at the guy.
I'm a Keenan fan too now too. I like Keenan as a character. I don't really like his jiu-jitsu anymore. I'm not gonna lie, but as a character, I think that guy's awesome because he's making his own brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like shit like that.
Hey, why don't you like his jiu-jitsu, like the whole worm guard thing? And
yeah, he's good. He's good. And like when he first got his black belt, when he was a brown belt, he was a killer in the sense that he was finishing everybody he went with. You even saw matches where he was going for like 6-7 minutes trying stuff out against some good dudes, and then the last 2 or 3 minutes he'd be just going like ape shit trying to finish them anyway, right?
Yeah, at Pans last year, and like Keenan would whip my ass, right? But I watched his match with Tim Spriggs. I don't know if you know who Tim Spriggs is.
Yeah,
but
Tim Spriggs is my favorite competitor to watch right now, actually.
Yeah, and Tim Spriggs was fucking going for it, right? Like he wanted to win that match. And Keenan was playing guard, playing advantage, and it was a good match to watch from the standpoint of, overall jiu-jitsu. But, when it was over and they raised Keenan's hand, I was like, dude, Tim Spriggs, was pushing the pace. In every way, I thought he won. And then by the rules, IBJJF, I think Keenan won that one.
I'm really into, I mean, I've always been into it, but more so lately. I'm sick of seeing moves. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like moves. That's what's fun when you go in and drill and you're just playing around. Sometimes you just want to like try new shit. Like you're trying moves. But what I'm more obsessed with lately is like Tim Spriggs is a good example. Someone who can use like movement and just understanding of positioning, like conceptually, to win a match, because it's just grappling. You know what I mean? Like Keenan, it's not that I dislike his jiu-jitsu. It's just it's really like specifically based now on a particular system, like let's say a worm guard or what hybrid spider guard he's using that day. Whereas Tim Spriggs, I just like it because he goes out there and he's like, I'm gonna pass, I'm gonna try and control your legs, I'm gonna look for that window, I'm gonna hit it real hard like a running back. You know what I mean? Like as soon as that hole's there, he's just like boom, he's gonna try and hit it. If he doesn't get it, he's gonna back out, he's gonna figure out some other way. You know what I mean? I think that's more of a conventional approach because like for the competitive aspect we're starting to see now, like I think at the upper levels you have to be a real athlete to be a world champion now. And I think that having people like that is going to bring more of an audience to stuff where like the average person might not want to watch some lanky lanky kind of long dude doing this fancy stuff. Like I'd rather watch a Tim Spriggs. It's more exciting to me. I think it'd be more exciting to the average person. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and it gets to the same thing. And I don't know if you guys saw this, 30-second video clip. What do you call those, Devon?
No,
like a 30-second video clip.
Yeah, like a.
I guess a meme. I don't know if that falls in the meme category, but
yeah, it probably could. Yeah, a live meme. I guess that's what I'm gonna call it from now. So it's called live meme.
It's
okay.
It's copyrighted now. There you
fucking go. Big jiu-jitsu copywriting stuff. Devon, we got to have you on more often.
I know.
We've got 2 new phrases here.
Someone record this shit for history, yeah.
Oh, it's already recorded, man. How else are we gonna put it on the page?
There we go, right?
But it was a little 30-second video of one of the Meow brothers squatting on his butt toward a competitor, and the guy just kind of walking away and being like, "This is why I fall asleep during jiu-jitsu events," or something like that. I don't know if you've seen it, but I mean, you've seen how one of the Meow guys go after it, and it's like, come on, what the fuck are you butt scooting toward these guys for? And really not trying to. I mean, that's not a game, and that's why it doesn't have a public appeal right now with jiu-jitsu, because nobody wants to see that bullshit if they have no concept of what jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah, he was butt scooting towards Samir. Samir is one of our buddies. We train with him. He's like 5-10 minutes away from us. Our schools get together on Friday nights, and us and him and Cashinho and all their other dudes, they have some tough dudes at their school in series. We all train together. Samir was walking away, and I know exactly what you're talking about. That guy's just sitting there with his hands like straight. He looked like an infant who didn't know how to walk. He's just like scooting on his butt, like, come change me. I got a fucking full diaper or something. I can't stand that. That just makes me like, it's not that I've never pulled guard or anything like that, but it's like, come on, like get up, like try and take that guy down, or at least let him take you down. Or I don't know. There's no points. Why don't you just get up to your feet? What are you worried about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kills me. Like, because I came from the school of you don't pull guard. Like, I still would be fearful to this day. Like, if I pulled guard, like from standing, just rolled on my back and pulled guard in a tournament, then my original coach would run out and kick me right in the face while I'm on my back. Like, it's just something you don't do. To me,
Dude, guys, I can't stand. There's so many people that do it too that are like that are young that are gonna be around. Like the Meows do that and they're gonna be around forever. Gianni Grippo does that. He's gonna be around forever. That new kid, he's a lower belt, Mikey. I don't know how to say his last name. He's really good though once you get to the mat, but he does that too. I can't stand that because sometimes you waste like 2 or 3 minutes just trying to like chase after the guy. Like, come on, it's gonna take longer to grab that guy off your butt rather than you just getting on your feet and running towards him, pulling guard. You know what I mean? I can't stand that shit.
yeah. Well, like drilling at the gym is one thing, but like tournament time is it's points. You got to get your
Oh
points.
yeah, for sure. And like you're just trying to go out there and like I don't know. I have this weird thing even with the rules in the point system now where I wish it was more like because what I mean obvious too is just a mixture of wrestling, judo, and like submission grappling. That's what jiu-jitsu is, right? But at the tournaments, it's not like that. It's almost they're trying to separate themselves from wrestling and judo entirely. Where it's like, why don't we just make it like you're not allowed to pull guard, or if you are allowed to pull guard, give the other dude 2 points? Because like I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, because then you have to actually fight for like who's gonna get it to the mat. You know what I mean? If you don't take the other guy down and and you pull guard, and I don't know. I have a really big problem with just the whole system in general. Like, if you're not going to have a sub-only match, it's got to be more geared to make people want to fight rather than just say, you know what, you're able to win this way, you're able to win that way.
Well, there's always going to be ways to work the rules to your favor and work a game
For sure.
around the rules. Like, because I mean, it's like if you look at the EBI, if you look at Curtis Sanders finishers, if you look at I don't know U.S. grappling, you look at pro jiu-jitsu, like they all have different rule sets, and they all try to get a match where action happens. Or unfortunately, you look at Metamoris, like it's supposed to be a 20-minute. If nobody wins by submission, then it goes to a draw. How many draws have we seen in Metamoris?
Fuck, way too many, man.
I think I've seen
Holy
like
shit.
2 or 3 finishes, maybe, and 2 of them came from Josh Barnett.
Exactly right.
So one of them was poor Kit Dale getting choked, so it kind of hurt, but you know.
It did kind of hurt. Kid Dale, I like Kid Dale. That guy's cool. I really like that guy a lot, actually. Not to stray off topic, but I like that guy a lot too. I don't know. You know what's funny too is like it's almost like it's more ego and more personal, I guess, when people are competing. And I think a lot of that has to do with because they're not winning money. Maybe, I don't know. I think I'm all over the place. What I really want to say real quick is just fuck IBJJF. Outside of that, like,
Are you still going to compete IBJJF, Devon? I mean,
yeah, I am.
So yeah, because it's the only thing, man. It's the only thing we got. Like,
it's the only thing we got, man. They have all of us by the balls. It's like I can say that and they'll never hear it, but it's like I don't really have a choice right now. You know what I mean? If I were a black belt and get more super fights, and I mean, eventually, yeah, I'll have more attention on me. I won't have to do that shit.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say,
I don't know. I don't know.
I think IBJJF is kind of like that shitty boss you have to go work for, but you know, you have like no other job openings at the present moment. You just got to go fucking like, God damn it, I got to assemble all these like, I don't know, alarm clocks on the conveyor belt because there's no other jobs in my town.
That's the perfect analogy.
Yeah, when somebody's doing a seminar, they don't write, Arizona Grappling Association champion. You know, they write IBJJF paying. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right? No one's ever gonna say like, "Oh yeah, I won the California black belt karate league jiu-jitsu portion." You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. I know. What I'm excited about is I think isn't Abu Dhabi or the World Pro? They're doing their own trials, like their Grand Slam trials, right around the world. They have like 5 or 6
Yeah, there's
kind
a
of
few of
tournaments.
them
I
going
think
on.
that's awesome. I think that's going to take over and be able to be like, obviously not as big as IBJJF, but I think that's going to play a big part where there's people competing in that won't compete in IBJJF.
Hey,
I
the
think.
other thing I just kind of thought of, sorry to interrupt you, Devin, is
No,
when
you're
we
good.
had Kyle Watson on the show a few weeks ago, he was like, because I asked him, I was like, who's the toughest guy, or the worst situation for you to be in? And he was like, being on my back. I hate being taken down or being on my back, So that's, a perfect example of, what we're talking about there. So I'll let you continue, man.
Oh no, that's actually hella cool that you say that, because it's like that. I think that should be everyone's mentality too. That should be my mentality. Sometimes I get mad at myself because I'm like on my back too much. Where I'm like, I could finish this guy, feel it, but then I'm like, at the end of the round, if I don't finish him, I'm like, oh shit, I was just on my back the whole time. Like real life, I would have been like slammed and thrown all over the place.
Yeah, I
No,
can't imagine being on your back on the pavement would be too good of a situation.
oh dude, you would ruin your gi. Your gi would be all tore up, dude. No, yeah, I'm really hoping those World Pro tournaments blow up, just because it kind of starts you off from like a lower belt to kind of see like, hey, like these people are willing to give us money. There's value on what we do a little bit, even if they're from like some like Middle Eastern dudes from 15, 16 hours away. I don't know. I kind of feel like, and I'm starting to see it, that more people are wanting to get into the idea of like, hey, let's just compete for money, but they're still kind of embarrassed to say it sometimes because like we just do jiu-jitsu. I don't know. I think those World Pro trials and stuff like that is really good for it.
Look,
For the sport.
If people can do, like, I don't know, do you remember the World Combat League? Does anybody remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
That's like some real old school like American kickboxing shit right
Yeah,
there.
they fought on like a trampoline, or it looked
Yeah.
like.
Yes. Yeah, and I've met a couple of the people from it. They're pretty cool, but yeah, it was kind of that whole like I'm on TV kind of, and I find the World Combat League. Like you fight where? The UFC? Like no, it's the World Combat League, and I'm a kickboxer there. But I appreciated it because
No, dude.
like
Yeah.
it was awesome. And then like some people are like, well, it's not the UFC. I don't give a shit. Like that's kind of some of the attitudes they had, but like I don't think it's embarrassing. Like if people are gonna pay to watch people compete in jiu-jitsu and have like super fights, if I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna put $50 down, not calling out any names, and you waste 30 fucking minutes of that pay-per-view doing an online seminar that none of us can drill because we're all just like sitting around in jeans eating popcorn, then like I want to see fights. I want to see some real badass super fights of jiu-jitsu because obviously I'm gonna pay the money to watch this jiu-jitsu. So I don't think there should be any embarrassment about it.
Yeah, it's it's funny too. Like I'm kind of to the point now where I don't care who I'm watching anymore. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. Like there's matchups in my head I want to see. Like you know what I mean. Like regardless of how like Tim Spriggs versus like someone like Buchecha. Like Buchecha might win, maybe not. I don't know. But that's an exciting matchup. Outside of that, I really don't care if they're like the top guys on paper anymore. Like I don't care to see like Hoffa versus someone else anymore. I want to see just like two guys that are going to go out there and really try and finish each other and try certain things to like, stimulate me. I don't even care about those black belts anymore because it's like it's just they've kind of killed themselves to me already, where you're like, you've done this too many times, like you're not trying to entertain anybody because it's not your job to, because obviously they're not paying you that much money. Like I get it, it's just a personal thing to win. I want to see like other people that are actually going to go out there and be like, you know what, like fuck it, I want to make a name off this dude. you know.
I mean, like even the smaller tournaments, like even the lower belts as well. I gotta do a little bragging on my students, but I have two guys, Christian and Toby. This last tournament we did was like in Kaiserslautern, like this little town in Germany, and they. Like it was probably some of the more entertaining jiu-jitsu I've seen because they were trying to kill like everybody they fought. It wasn't like pat hands. Like Toby launched a dude almost off the mat with his throw. I just like I'm usually calm when I coach. I actually stopped and screamed like holy shit, like just out of my mouth. And, and then like it's the entertainment. Like those guys are still hungry. They're doing awesome and like they want to be entertaining, but when I think you hit a certain point too, it might be you're too afraid to lose. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, it is entirely that. And me and my friend, we talk about. He's my instructor too. He's like my older brother. We talk about this all the time. Where a lot of it is personal because they're really other. The only thing they have to lose is more so just like it's like a check and balance list of one uppers. They're like, oh, like you beat me this time. So it's like they're all friends, obviously. So it's like they just want to like sometimes if they have to scrape by just to be able to beat someone, it's like, all right, they'll do it. And it's just I don't know. I don't know. It's pushing me more away from it in the last more so in the last 8-9 months. It's pushed me very, very far away from it where I keep up with the trends just because I want to be involved in that because like from like a business point and everything like that
Yeah.
as far as like jiu-jitsu goes. But for competitors and who's big now and who's up and coming, like I don't even watch that shit anymore just because it's kind of left a sour taste in my mouth consistently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. So before we wrap up, I got to ask, because it was one of my favorite subjects of the last time we had you on the show. Have you pissed anybody off on social media in the past year?
I pissed. Yeah, there's definitely one occasion.
For those of you who are unaware, Devon posted up something on his Facebook that got the nutritional coach. Which fighter was it? Was it Anthony Pettis?
It was Anthony Pettis. Yeah.
His nutritional coach jumped in and just went ape shit for I have no fucking idea why, but he said, my food builds champions, my food, makes people win. Right before Pettis lost his belt. So I mean,
like 4 days before, literally the week of. And you know what's crazy about that too? That I just saw, and I posted a screenshot of it on my Facebook, and I tagged him in it. He blocked me, but like not only did Anthony Pettis lose his belt that weekend, his little brother Sergio Pettis lost, and that girl, what's her name, Carla Esparza, she also lost. Not to knock them, and not to say it was that guy's fault, but
oh no,
I'm just gonna say maybe it was. Like,
yeah, you stupid food.
I know, stupid. Prepare your champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
No, the last thing I posted that was really, really major, where it had like a few hundred comments, was it was something that it was more outside of my moral realm than I normally do, but it wasn't really moral. So I found this old picture. I did a speech in my communications class on this like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was a picture of a guy in a military sweatshirt. He had an army sweatshirt on. He was a guy that was in the service from like the 50s or 40s, and it's a picture of him helping some black guy up who had just who just looked mangled, right? And he's helping him, and he has a smile on his face. So when you look at the picture beforehand, obviously, like, I know I'm playing devil's advocate, but it looks like some white guy just beat up some black dude, right? When in reality, the black guy got beat up in some crazy riot, and this white man who's in the army is helping this dude up to safety. Okay. So obviously when I post that picture up, just because along the lines of some of the other stuff I post, people obviously already have this idea in their head where they're like, oh, this guy's calling out, race this, race that. When really it's like, no, like, come on. I post a picture of some guy in the army helping some black dude up just because I don't put a specific like tagline on it that says exactly what's happening. People already want to assume what I'm thinking. So that right beforehand sounds enough controversy around it as it is. I posted it on 9/11. And
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So like, and I'm all in support of the troops. Like, I was waiting to have this big build up where like I was going to say, hey, you know what, you guys, like, my heart's in the right place. Look at man of our country is helping some other dude even back in the day, signifies unity, all this stuff. What ended up happening was a large demographic of the area I'm from is fits that really far right wing old school, and I mean like super far right wing. I mean like the plane is flying in a circle. That's how heavy that right wing is, right?
Holy shit, right.
They fits that kind of that demographic. So I had this stream of just like they were my old friends. They don't like me anymore. Of just like cops, local government, just people just going in on me, telling me like this, that, and like, like I don't look at people's skin color, nothing like that. I'm cool with everybody. Like I'm like, you know, I'm Mexican, like I look Asian, like I'm cool with everybody. And they just went in on me saying like, oh, you're calling the race card, you're playing that, you're playing that, you're playing that for like, I'm not joking, like 3 or 4 hours. Like there was a few hundred comments on there. And by the end of it, and it didn't help that like I had my other friends who were Mexican and black jumping on there, and I wasn't trying to separate people. I was waiting for this big, huge buildup, and you know, after all these comments, I was just like, I explained what it was, and it was just like shut down. Like no one had anything to say. Kind of like boom, like oh fuck, you know what I mean? I was like, come on, like that dude's helping this dude, and everyone just like boom, nothing left.
So this brings up a greater topic of some stuff that's going on the internet right now, and like people with like, you know, fake Twitter pages for real people and stuff like that. I mean, one incident that happened recently was after those Paris attacks.
Yeah.
You know, a viral Twitter feed went out of, you know, lights out on the Eiffel Tower. And I don't know if you heard about this, but the lights go out on the Eiffel Tower every night at like 1 a.m. You know, so it wasn't anything special, but everybody started posting this picture, the lights out on the Eiffel Tower, you know, like they were supporting, you know, the people of Paris by reposting that picture. And they, you know, it made this fake Twitter account all this money because all the likes and reshares and all that bullshit. So, you know, another thing is context ruins everything on the internet. You know, like, you know, if you actually understand the context of something or actually do some fucking research on it, you know, like it's not that fucking interesting. You know what I'm saying? Or cool or unique or.
I definitely use that to my advantage because I mean, and you guys know this too. Like I think we're having a conversation about like just the click journalism, how that's all bullshit, and that's like another example of it, right? Or just click journalism, where you're just posting something to get like a hit on it to your website or whatever.
Yeah.
The internet, the people that are on the internet, majority of the time, will say the demographic from 16 to like 24, and that's like a majority of the people who are on these social media sites. They are the most uninformed people when it comes to context surrounding content in general. Like it's just a perfect example. Like you said, the lights go off of the Eiffel Tower every day at 1 a.m. Someone posts a picture of it and makes a statement saying, hey, the lights are out, like it's something like out of the ordinary, and people go ape shit. Like perfect example of it. I don't know. It sounds fucked up when I talk about it, and I actually have to like put it out in words and like hear myself say it. But man, I use that shit against people so often.
Well, I don't think you're profiting off of terrorist attacks, but
fuck no.
But I'm saying like the way you do it, it works. It fucking works. So that's all there is to it.
This is true. And let's just make this clear. Terrorist attacks are not funny. Big Jiu-Jitsu podcast does not in any way embrace or support any form of that. As a matter of fact, we are all saying fuck any sort of terrorist.
Oh, absolutely. But we know what we do embrace? Big dicks. We love big dicks.
Yes, we do.
So, Devon, before we end the show today, would you like to give a shout out to your who where do we need to find you? Who do we need to see? What do we need to follow in order to get more Devon in our lives?
All right. In order to get more Devon in your lives, everyone should follow on pretty much any social media site you can think of: Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, any platform. I Am Symphony, IAMSYMPHONY, and the startup, the growing platform, the network, the team that is going to be bigger than anything you possibly think of pretty soon is We Are Regime. It's Regime at We Are Regime on everything. WEAREREGIME. Other than that, big Jiu-Jitsu podcast. Everyone should listen to it. Obviously, you already do if you're here listening to me, because no one knows who I am yet. This is fun.
I'm glad you've been on, Devon. Oh, Sean, you got anything to leave the guests with, our listeners with as well?
Yeah, I want to promote a friend's podcast. They're also jiu-jitsu players out of Tucson at De Brazil, but they have a podcast called The Radical Agnostic. It's John Berger and Brian Richter. So if you want to give it a listen, they talk about some pretty interesting topics. I've been listening to it, some philosophy, some movie reviews, some current political topics. So go ahead and give them a listen. It's an enjoyable hour or so.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. Please find us on bigjujitsu.com, like our Facebook page, facebook.com/bigjujitsu. Hey, give us a review on iTunes for once. I know you guys listen to it, so please help us out with some reviews. More people can see it. then you could say, hey, I've been listening to the Big Jiu-Jitsu show since the beginning. You can wear your hipster scarf and drink PBR and whatever. But help us out that way. Go to the Amazon banner at the top. Find us at podbros.com, the Podbros Podcast Network. Popping my peas a little too much. That's all right. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, Devon, thanks for coming on the show, man. Really do appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really.
Anytime. So I'm Rob, the Lord Humongous.
And I'm Sean, the big dick humongous.
And we will catch you all next week.